What if every memory you've ever lost was waiting for you in a room that takes more than it gives? Watch until the end to find out what happens when the past comes back to haunt you. You've been walking this hallway every day for years, but today, there's a door you've never seen before. It stands in the exact spot where there should be none. The hallway, the same one you walked down countless times before, is suddenly interrupted by this strange, unexpected presence. You pause for a moment, your footsteps stilled by the oddity of it. You're certain that this part of the hallway was always supposed to end with a plain wall, yet here it is, a door. It's not old, not weathered like you'd expect. It's perfectly clean, its wooden surface smooth and unmarred, as though it's only just been installed. A polished brass doorknob gleams under the dim hallway light, its round surface shining almost invitingly. It catches your eye in a way that makes it hard to look away, as if it were calling out to you, silently urging you to touch it. The knob's reflection flickers, and for a brief second, you wonder why you've never noticed this door before. The strangest thing? The hallway, as long as you've known it, has always ended in a dead end. No door, no window, just an unremarkable stretch of wall. And yet here, in this moment, the door exists. It's as though the hallway itself has morphed overnight, as if time bent just enough to create this gap in the familiar. Your mind races with questions. How long has it been there? Why have you never seen it before? What's behind it? A sense of unease prickles at the back of your mind. Your gut tells you to walk away, to ignore the sudden appearance of this strange doorway and simply continue with your day. Maybe this is some trick, a figment of your imagination. Maybe it's just a momentary glitch in your perception. But then there's a feeling, the one that curls its way through your curiosity, urging you to take that next step, to open it, to look behind the door. You can't help but be drawn to it, a silent pull that's more than just fascination. There's something deeper at work, something that stays a part of you that you can't quite identify. The idea of walking away feels more unnatural than stepping toward it. With a quick glance over your shoulder to make sure no one is around to see, you place your hand on the doorknob. The cold metal presses against your skin, and for a second, you feel a chill run down your spine. Still, the temptation is too great. You twist the knob slowly and push the door open. It moves with ease, creaking ever so slightly as the space inside is revealed. The room behind it is simple, unremarkable. At first glance, it's nothing more than a small, square room. There are no windows, no decorations, just stark white walls that seem to stretch upward, creating an unsettling sense of isolation. A single chair sits in the center of the room, its wooden frame sturdy and worn, as though it has been used countless times before. The chair is the only piece of furniture, the only thing that suggests that this place was ever meant for someone to sit, to exist within its four walls. The air is still, almost heavy, but there's something else too, a faint smell lingering in the room. It's the scent of rain on hot pavement, the kind that rises after the storm has passed, that earthy, comforting smell that evokes a strange sense of nostalgia. It doesn't make sense. There hasn't been any rain, but it's there, a subtle but undeniable presence. You step inside, your shoes making a soft sound against the bare floor. You move hesitantly, as if testing the ground beneath you, unsure of what to expect. Your heart starts a beat faster, an unfamiliar flutter of nervous energy creeping into your chest. It's not just the oddness of the room that makes you uneasy. It's something deeper, a sense of dread mixed with an overwhelming curiosity, both of which fight for dominance in your mind. Your instincts scream at you to turn around, to leave the room and never look back. But your legs won't obey. Instead, they move forward, one step at a time, until you're standing just beside the chair. You can't explain it, but a strange pull seems to come from it, like the chair is waiting for you, inviting you to sit, to experience what it offers. Your gaze drifts toward the chair, and for a moment, it feels almost familiar, like you've been here before. Your hands tremble slightly as you reach out to touch the back of the chair. The moment your fingers make contact with the cold wood, the room seems to shift in some subtle way. The air thickens, the faint smell of rain becoming more pronounced. You take a deep breath, but the atmosphere feels heavier now, more intense. And yet, you can't bring yourself to leave. There's something about this place, this room, that keeps you anchored, as though it holds some key to understanding a piece of you that you never knew was lost. And as you take a seat in the chair, a strange, almost surreal sensation washes over you. It's as if time has slowed down. The room feels like it's drawing you in, making you a part of it, as if everything that has happened in your life has somehow led you to this exact moment, to this exact place. You sit, unable to move, but for reasons you can't explain, your heart begins to race. What did you just step into? You sit in the chair, unsure at first of why you've chosen it. It's just an empty, sterile room. After all, no windows, no decoration, nothing but the cold, hard floor beneath your feet and the faint, comforting smell of rain-soaked pavement in the air. The chair looks innocuous enough, nothing special. Yet, for some reason, it feels right, as if it's been waiting for you. You lower yourself onto the chair cautiously, thinking this is just a momentary distraction, a curiosity that'll soon fade away. Maybe you're just tired from the strangeness of the room, the door, the inexplicable feeling gnawing at the pit of your stomach. You tell yourself it's all in your head. You're just sitting down to take a breather. But then, as soon as you settle into the chair, the door behind you clicks shut. You don't remember hearing any footsteps, no movement from behind you. But there it is, the unmistakable sound of the door closing tightly, as though the room itself has decided to trap you inside. It's subtle, but it feels almost deliberate, like the click is a warning, telling you that you've just stepped into something beyond your understanding. At first, you stand up, ready to leave, but something keeps you rooted in place. You can't explain it, but the air around you thickens. The room feels different now, almost alive, and the very walls begin to hum, a low, rhythmic sound, like the distant rumble of an engine, barely perceptible but unsettling nonetheless. It's almost like the room itself is breathing, and the vibrations seem to pulse through your bones, making you feel strangely aware of everything. Then it happens. The memories come rushing in. At first, it's nothing more than a fleeting image, a glimpse of something familiar, a long-forgotten face or place, and then another. One memory triggers another, and suddenly, it's as if the entire vault of your past has been opened in an instant. You see yourself riding your first bike, wobbling down the street with the wind whipping through your hair. You hear the unmistakable sound of your grandmother's laughter, soft and warm, echoing in your ears, as though she were sitting right beside you. The faint pattern of your old bedsheets flashes before your eyes, soft and faded, reminding you of a simpler time when you felt safe, when nothing seemed impossible. It's intoxicating. The memories are sharp, vivid, and clearer than anything you've experienced in years. It's as though someone has handed you the missing pages of your life, pages you thought had been lost forever. And for a moment, you feel whole again, like a jigsaw puzzle that's finally been completed. You smile to yourself, remembering little things that made you feel connected to who you were, to the person you used to be. You laugh out loud at the joy of rediscovery, even as you wonder how it's possible to feel so much nostalgia in such a short span of time. The hours slip away unnoticed. It's as if time has no meaning in this room, or perhaps it's simply been suspended in the wake of the memories that continue to flood your mind. You sit there, basking in the sense of completeness, savoring the feeling of being alive, of being connected to something real. It's been so long since you've felt this way, so long since you've been able to remember the joy, the love, the simplicity of those fleeting moments that made life so special. But eventually, it happens. The memories begin to slow, fading, their intensity dimming as the room returns to its quiet, sterile state. You blink, and suddenly you realize that something's off. You stand, feeling disoriented, a lingering sense of unease gnawing at the back of your mind. You turn toward the door, ready to leave this strange place behind, and yet, as you move toward it, you're struck by an overwhelming sense of confusion. You don't remember why you walked into the hallway in the first place. Was it just a passing thought, a need to explore? Why did you even open that door? Your mind struggles to piece together the last moments before you sat in that chair, but the details are slipping away from you, like sand through your fingers. Where do you live? You're sure you should know this, but the question feels foreign, distant, as though the answer lies beyond your reach. The street? The neighborhood? It's all a blur, like someone scrubbed away the edges of your memory. And then, it hits you like a wave of cold water. You don't even know your own name. For a moment, you freeze, trying to grasp onto some semblance of who you are, but it's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. There's a deep, knowing emptiness where the answer should be, and no matter how hard you search, nothing comes. Not a single clue, not a single recollection. It's as though the room has stolen more from you than just the time you spent within it. It's taken the very essence of who you are, leaving you adrift in a sea of fog and confusion. You stand there for what feels like an eternity, caught in the space between knowing and forgetting, unsure how to move forward, or even who you are anymore. And the door behind you remains closed, as if mocking your inability to leave the place where your memories went to disappear. Somehow, you find your way home, or at least to a place where people seem to know you. The door behind you clicks shut with a finality that makes the silence all the more oppressive. You're back in the hallway, but the memories that just surged through your mind are already beginning to slip away like water through your fingers. You can't remember how you got here. You can't remember what you were thinking when you opened the door, or even why you went inside in the first place. But somehow, you find yourself standing in front of a familiar door. It creaks open before you even have a chance to knock. The home is filled with the sounds of life, voices, the clinking of dishes, and the warmth of something almost comforting. But the sensations are wrong. It feels like a place you should know, but you can't place the details. The air smells like something faintly familiar, but it's also a little too foreign, like a dream you can't quite remember. Inside, people greet you with smiles, as if they've been expecting you. "It's good to see you," someone says, a middle-aged woman with graying hair. She hands you a framed photo and asks how you been. The photo shows you, smiling with a group of people at some event, but your reflection in the glass is unfamiliar, like a stranger in your own life. The faces surrounding you are equally strange, yet oddly comforting, as if they belong to some life you've forgotten. Your name is said aloud as if it's the most natural thing in the world. They call you by it, insist you've been here before. "It's been so long since we've seen you," they say warmly, trying to put you at ease. They fill you in on all the things you've missed, the milestones you've experienced, and the people you've known. But it feels like you're hearing about a stranger's life, not your own. You try to smile, to nod along as though you understand. But each word sounds hollow. Each explanation feels like it's being spoken in a language you used to know but can't quite remember anymore. You try your best to force the memories back into your head, to let them flood in and give you the missing pieces of your life. You close your eyes, breathe deeply, but no matter how hard you try, the details slip through your mind like sand through your fingers. Faces you should know remain blurry, names remain distant. You sit, watching the life around you unfold, but it feels like you're watching from behind a thick glass. The more you try to reach out to your memories, the more elusive they become. Days pass, and the life you're supposed to recognize continues to unfold around you, but nothing feels right. You begin to feel like an outsider, a shadow drifting through your own life, haunted by the knowledge that something vital is missing. It's not just the details that are slipping away, it's the very essence of you. You try to live in the moment, to be part of the world around you, but your mind keeps pulling you back to that room. The images, the voices, the forgotten memories, they cling to you like a whisper you can't escape. A week later, the pull becomes too strong to resist. You can't shake the nagging sensation, the gnawing emptiness that compels you to return to the place that both frightens and fascinates you. You return to the hallway. You find the door again, just like last time. The knob is cold against your palm as you turn it, but this time, you don't hesitate. The room looks different now. The walls aren't plain anymore. The stark, empty white has been replaced by something entirely new, moving images, like a film projected directly onto the walls. It's as though the room itself is now alive with memories, but not just your memories. The images flicker and change rapidly, each one depicting a moment from your life, a flash of something you thought you'd long forgotten. There's your first bicycle ride, your childhood home, a birthday party you remember only vaguely, a long-forgotten friend. The images are yours, but also not yours. Some of the faces in the images are unfamiliar, like people from lives you never lived. There are strangers, their faces so vivid and real that they seem to reach out to you. There are cities you've never visited, landscapes you've never seen, but they all feel so tangible, so real. They pull you in, and the longer you watch, the more you begin to lose yourself in them. You can't tell where your life ends and someone else's begins. The memories swirl together, merging, blending, until everything becomes a kaleidoscope of experiences that are both yours and not yours. You sit down again, unable to stop yourself. The flood of memory continues, each one more vivid, more intense than the last. You try to hold on to the ones that are yours, to keep the pieces of your life together, but they slip through your grasp like water. The line between your memories and the ones that aren't yours becomes impossible to define. Every image feels like it belongs to you, and at the same time, none of them do. And when you finally leave again, the room feels quieter somehow, like the weight of all those stolen memories lingers in the air. You step back into the hallway, but something is different. This time, you've lost something more than just the address you can no longer remember, or the phone number that slipped away. This time, it's personal. It's real. You can't remember your best friend's face. The face that should be the most familiar, the one you've known longer than anyone else in your life, is now a blur. The memories of their laughter, their smile, the way they always made you feel better, all gone, like a thread pulled loose, unraveling in your mind. As you stand there, disoriented and empty, you realize just how much you've lost, and wonder what else the room might take from you next. Your obsession grows. Every day, you find yourself consumed by thoughts of the room, that door, and the mysterious power it holds. You ask around, but no one else has seen it. No one else remembers the hallway, the strange door that seemed to materialize out of thin air. It's as if it was never there, no trace, no record, not even a whisper of its existence. But for you, the door and the room remain vivid, impossible to ignore. You try to dismiss it, to move on with your life, but the pull is relentless. It's as if the room has woven itself into your thoughts, an ever-present whisper that grows louder each day. You can't shake the feeling that you need to retain, that you need to understand what it is that keeps drawing you in. One night, unable to resist any longer, you decide to wait in the hallway, hiding in the shadows. You've come to this place many times, but each time the door fails to appear. Tonight, however, you're determined. You find a hidden corner in the hallway, one where the shadows are deep enough to conceal you. You wait. Hours pass, and nothing happens. The hallway remains empty, the air thick with stillness. You almost convince yourself that the door was just a figment of your imagination, that it doesn't really exist at all. But as the clock strikes midnight, something changes. The door appears again, as though summoned by the clock's chime. It stands at the end of the hallway, exactly as you remember it, the polished brass doorknob gleaming under dim light. The air feels different now, heavier, as if the room beyond it is calling to you once again. Without a second thought, you push the door open. Inside, the room is as you remember it, empty, cold, and stark. But there, sitting in the chair you've seen in your visions, is an old man. His face is lined with age, his hair thin and white, his eyes dark and tired. He looks up at you in surprise, a flicker of something unfamiliar crossing his face. "You shouldn't be here," he says, his voice low and gravelly, as though speaking is a struggle. His eyes lock with yours, and you can sense the weight of his words, the warning in them. You step forward, ignoring the chill creeping down your spine. "I need answers," you demand, your voice trembling slightly but firm. The old man studies you for a long moment, his gaze shifting between you and the chair you now find yourself standing near. He sighs, a heavy sound that seems to carry years of regret. "The room is older than this building," he says slowly, each word deliberate, as though choosing the right one takes effort. "Older than this city. It's a place that collects memories, like a living archive. He pauses, as if trying to explain something too complicated to be understood in a few words. When you sit in that chair, the room gives you what you crave most, what you've longed for, but it demands something in return. You feel a shiver run through you as the weight of his words sinks in. "What do you mean?" you ask, your voice growing more urgent. "What does it take?" He looks down at his hands, weathered and thin, before continuing. "The first time, it takes something small. Something you don't even notice missing. A fleeting memory, a forgotten moment. The second time, it takes something precious. A deeper memory, something important, something that shapes who you are. And the third time, it takes everything." His eyes flicker to you, a sadness in them that cuts through you. When you lose everything, you'll understand. But by then, it will be too late. You feel the sting of his words, a cold realization settling in your chest. "Why do you keep coming back?" you ask, unable to suppress the question any longer. The old man smiles sadly, a thin, tired smile. "Because I've already lost everything," he replies, his voice softer now. "I keep coming so I can borrow lives that aren't mine." He leans back in the chair, looking distant, as if remembering something long past. "The room gives me pieces of lives I never lived, memories, experiences, faces I've never seen, places I've never been. It's the only way I can feel alive again." The words hang in the air, heavy with a sorrow that feels too deep to understand. You stand there, frozen, as his words echo in your mind. The door, the room, the memories, it all feels like something you can't escape, something that's already taken root in your life. Before you can respond, before you can ask him anything else, the room flickers. It's subtle at first, just a shimmer in the air, but then the lights flicker, and the old man's face fades into the background, disappearing as if he was never really there at all. The room returns to its original emptiness. And suddenly, you're alone again. The door is closed behind you, and you're standing in the hallway, unsure of how much time has passed or what's real anymore. The weight of the old man's words hangs heavy in the air as you stand there, feeling the pull of the room still lingering in your mind, still calling you back. Days pass, and the urge to return to the room gnaws at you, relentless. It's like a shadow hanging over you, growing larger with each passing moment. You fight it, try to ignore the pull, but the memories you felt that night, the vivid, perfect memories of a life you once knew, won't let go. They haunt you in the quiet moments, in the stillness of your own thoughts. You can't shake the feeling that something important has been lost, that something vital has been taken from you, and no matter how hard you try, you can't fill the empty space with anything else. The people around you seem oblivious, moving on with their lives, but for you, it's as though time has stopped, leaving you stuck in a moment where nothing feels real. You go through the motions, pretending everything is fine. You smile, nod, and answer questions, but the hole in your memory, in your life, grows larger. You can't help but think about the room, the chair, the memories. The pieces of yourself that you once had are now scattered, lost in the void. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you wish to forget, you know you can't go on like this. The urge grows until it consumes you, and you realize that you can't live without them anymore. You need to feel whole again. So, you make a decision. You return. The whole way is as you remember it. Quiet, dim, and filled with the same suffocating stillness. You walk slowly, your heart racing in your chest. The door has always appeared when you've needed it most, and tonight is no different. It stands there at the end of the hallway, gleaming under the dim light, the polished brass doorknob beckoning you like an old friend. It feels almost familiar, like a promise that's been waiting for you. There's no hesitation now, no fear, just the overwhelming desire to reclaim what's been lost. You push the door open, and as you step inside, the familiar coldness of the room surrounds you. The air is thick with the weight of forgotten memories, and for a moment you stand still, taking it all in. The chair waits for you in the center of the room, its worn surface beckoning, offering the solace you've been searching for. The walls shimmer, and for the first time, You notice something new. The images that swirl around you aren't just memories of your own life. They are faces, laughter, and beauty you've forgotten, moments you once lived but no longer recognize. It's almost overwhelming, the flood of memories crashing against your mind. You step toward the chair, drawn to it, and without thinking, you sit. The moment you do, everything changes. The memories rush in faster and more vividly than before. They are waves, waves of joy, pain, love, and fear. You feel them all at once, crashing over you with an intensity that takes your breath away. You see yourself laughing with friends, holding hands with someone you loved, the joy of a simple moment, the comfort of home. But then the pain comes, too, the heartbreak, the loss, the fear, the unknown. Everything you have ever felt, everything you have ever experienced, floods your senses, and for the first time in what feels like forever, you feel complete again. You remember who you are. You remember what it was like to feel alive, to feel connected to the world around you. You're whole again, perhaps more whole than you've ever been, because now you understand just how much you've been missing. But in that completeness, something shifts. You stand up, feeling lighter, almost like you're floating, and that's when you notice something strange. You can't remember walking into the room. You can't remember anything before this moment. The memories that flooded back to you seem to have erased everything else. You look around, but everything feels distant, like it's all a dream, something you'll forget the moment you wake up. The door is gone now, vanished as though it was never there. The room, once filled with images and memories, is now empty. The weight of the loss you've experienced is gone, replaced by an eerie silence that feels too complete, too final. Panic grips you. The room that gave you everything has taken something in return, something you hadn't realized you'd lost. Your mind races, searching for something, anything, that might anchor you to this place, to the life you once had. But it's gone. The door is no longer there. The hallway is empty, the place where it all began now just a forgotten memory. You feel like a ghost, adrift in a world that doesn't quite belong to you anymore. And somewhere, in a hallway no one else notices, a door waits for its next visitor, ready to give them everything they've ever wanted, in exchange for the one thing they can never get back,